Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's nice to see you again in this meeting. This presentation will be special for you because in one file of the slides, there will be two meetings, meeting 6 and meeting 7. But we will talk about every part one by one. Okay, so please pay your attention again about our topic today. It is a practical guide for English lecturing toward professional basic skills on reading and writing. Okay, so let's go together and pay your attention and try to understand the content. Thank you. Guys, the organization of our topic is to talk about theoretical points and the teaching and learning cycle. And we are going to talk about literary principles in designing language classes. And also, the sample of lesson plan we are going to understand well during learning English in Polytechnic Bajoko Modus. Guys, there are some assumptions underlying GBA based on Book of Fish and Joyce, 1998, page 24 to 27. Number one is about learning language is a social activity. Number two, learning occurs more effectively if lecturers are explicit about what is expected of students. And then number three, the process of learning language is a series of scaffolding developmental steps which address different aspects of language. Okay, guys, assumption number one, that there will be some collaboration between lecturers and the students, and also plus collaboration among the students themselves. So the result is language learning style, the outcome. You understand well about how to use English in your daily speaking. And a model of language learning with three outcomes based on Holiday in Fish and Joyce 1998 also, that we are going to get a resource for making meaning of change through interacting with others in purposeful social activities, and a tool for interpreting and organizing reality obtained through learning the target language to interpret and organize reality in terms of that language. Knowledge about language obtained by building about the target lingua. Okay. And then the second assumption is the explicit identification of what is to be learned, and also explicit identification of what is to be assessed. So this means the role of the lecturer is to use methodologies which collaborate with the students in the learning process. Where necessary, the lecturer can intervene in the learning process to support the students as they are building knowledge and skills already explicitly negotiated. And in other words, the lecturer-learner interaction is valued, so is that between the students. Guys, this is only the main points of how to study English, how to learn much more about understanding English. So you have to try yourself by searching in every references in Google or Amazon or everywhere you are going to learn English. Okay. Then the assumption number three is a level of independent performance. So you have to be independent. You can speak out with everyone everywhere. And then a level of potential performance, which is made possible through social interaction and joint construction with more capable others. So the gap between the two is called the zone of proximal development. Okay, guys. Okay, the zone of proximal development, if lecturer is only concerned with that students can already do with language, their existing level of independence, the students will never make progress. So you have to make your progress. If lecturer supports students so that they move to the zone of proximal development to their potential level of performance, real learning and progress is possible. So The most important thing is that you will be actively and creatively develop your understanding on language, learning English especially. Genre-based approach will be joint construction and scaffolding. Joint construction consists of the lecturer and the student develop text together and share the responsibility for performance until the student has the knowledge and skills to performance independently and with sole responsibility. Jadi, bebas dan bertanggung jawab. The lecturer provides support for the students by providing explicit knowledge and guided practice according to what students need so that they will make progress. So you have to make more progress by my main points here. Okay. And the learning cycle will be two cycles or four stages. The five-stage cycle is recommended to encourage students to learn to broaden their perspective and think progressively. Jadi perluas pemahaman Anda dan berpikirlah untuk lebih maju dan progresif. And this is the circle of learning process, increasing approximation to control of written and spoken text. Ya, jadi lingkarannya silakan dipelajari di slide yang saya kirimkan. And then building the context or knowledge of the field. It is a negotiating field. Jadi belajar dari pengalaman, belajar dari konteks sosial yang ada di sekitar kita. Tujuannya, aim, to build students' background knowledge about the topic they are going to write or talk about in terms of content and vocabulary used. Jadi belajar tentang makna dan kosakata. What to identify, what the field is, what part of the field will be explored, what the students already know about it, what experience and activities will be part of the exploration, and how the information from the activities will be recorded and organized. Okay, and then your activities as students are being introduced to the social context of an authentic model of the text type being studied, exploring features and the general context in which the text type is used and the social purpose of the text type achieves. And then exploring the immediate context of situation by investigating the register of a model text which has been selected on the basis of the course objectives and learning needs. Okay. An exploration of register, building knowledge of the topic of the model text and knowledge of the social activity in which the text is used. Understanding the roles and relationship of the people using the text and how these are established and mentioned. Understanding the channel of communication being used. And then context building activities will be presenting the context through pictures, audiovisual material, reality, excursion, field trips, guest speakers, etc. Establishing the social purpose through discussion or surveys. Cross-cultural activities, related research activities, comparing the model of with other texts of the same genre or contrasting type. Okay, this is the summary or the last notes for this meeting. Me or as a lecturer should create activities which help students to comprehend the content of the text, including the roles of the people involved, the purpose of the text, the function of the text, and the type of situation. And the questions may be multiple choice in their form, completion, or essay depending on the level of learning. Okay, guys, this is for today's meeting number 6. So please learn all the materials and especially you have to try to understand the content of this presentation, okay? And modeling and constructing the text will be students investigate the structure, pattern, and language features of the model text. Students complete the model with other examples of this text type. Okay. And the last notes, use diagnostic assessment to decide how much time to devote to particular language feature and what kind of presentation or practice students need with each feature. Conduct the activity at both the whole